Hey y'all, it's Kim again. So this time I was gonna make a video about the Daniel Penny interview with Judge Jeanine. Here is just that clip that I was telling you about uh, from the movie Double Jeopardy. So basically, if he's acquitted, he can't be charged a second time for the same crime. So anyway, it's just kind of wild. But yeah, let me get this stuff out of here. I don't know why it's popping up everywhere. I just want to minimize it. So let me see. Sorry. Let's try to get this to play.
You ever hear something called double jeopardy, Fifth Amendment to the Constitution? Huh? No? Well, double jeopardy provides that no person may be tried for the same crime twice. You got that? Keep staring. The state says you already killed your husband. They can't convict you of it a second time. That means that when you leave here, you track him down. And when you find him, you can kill him. That's right. You can walk right up to him in Times Square, put a gun to his head, and pull the fucking trigger, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Kind of makes you feel warm and tingly all over, don't it?
So anyway, that's kind of the whole point with the acquittal. So they can't charge you a second time for like the same crime. Anyway, so I guess I don't know if we should get into the interview first or just go straight to the race baiting. What do y'all think? I guess we'll go with the race baiting. So this is this BLM leader. She joins Dan after the Penny acquittal. Of course, these people have to just jump in and start claiming everything is racist. Racist. Oh my goodness. So it's Shavana, I don't know, whatever, Newsom, the co-founder of the BLM Greater New York, joins Dan Abrams live. We'll just watch a few minutes of this because there's only so much of this intolerant nonsense I can take. So let's see.
So do you not blame Jordan Neely at all? I mean, for what he did, he deserves no blame from your perspective, right?
Did you hear the witness testimony?
I'm asking
you
a question.
Cherry picking the ones.
I'm asking you a question. Do you blame Jordan Neely at all for his conduct?
If Jordan Neely was a white man, we'd be saying it was an opioid crisis. He was hungry. He was mentally ill. He had a muffin in his mouth.
I wouldn't be if there were other. What about the witnesses? Let's play again, just so we're clear on the race.
Play Eddie Gibson, who begged Daniel Neely to stop.
Oh, again, but he stayed there throughout the incident.
Play the ones that fit the narrative.
Well, but what's the narrative? There's black women who were on the subway. It was mostly people of color on the subway.
What about a white man during cross-examination who said that he was afraid of Daniel Penny, the one who poured water onto his head and said that he was afraid? He was a white man.
Yeah, okay. So
what about the Latino man who was holding his arms?
I'm not the one identifying everyone by race. You are. You're the one who keeps telling. Why? Why do you have to? There was nothing in this case.
FBI, when you look at when hate crimes happen, when you look at when injustice happened to black people.
But let's agree. Let's agree to some. Look, I'm going to be doing a segment later this week on a missing black woman who has not been getting nearly enough attention.
Send it to me, and I'll share them.
But by the media,
Absolutely.
Because I understand that, and to that degree, you have a fair point about the way sometimes the media and the justice system handles, but not this case. This case, even the prosecutors conceded Daniel Penny had every right to go hands-on, and the question became, okay, when should he have stopped? I understand that.
The time frame on that.
Right.
From the DA's office was after 30 seconds. Can you not concede that Daniel Penny was a trained killer? Did he not have his...
Okay. I can't listen anymore to this lady. Whatever. I know she's got to make everything about race, and it's all about grifting off of the black community and then white people that have a lot of guilt. So I'm just going to leave it there because I can't deal with any more of this. I mean, if I was on an unsafe subway system, I would hope that if we had some man get on there, because I'm a 5 foot tall woman, 5'1", whatever. My daughters aren't very much taller than me. If I'm on the subway, which thank God I don't live in New York, I would hope that some man, if he's trained, even, he didn't even have to be trained. He'd just be a man that's willing to step up if some guy was coming on there threatening people. Period. I would have no problem with that. The guy was obviously having trouble, But it's just like that George Floyd stuff. They had to take it way too far. I mean, these people get themselves in a situation with the drugs or whatever, and then something happens, and then everybody's up in arms about it. Like, oh, they died, like died in police custody, or died because of this, or died because of that. It's like, well, if they weren't doing something bad, nobody would have to intervene. The cops wouldn't have been there for George Floyd. Daniel Penny wouldn't have been there to subdue this guy, even though he passed away. But I don't believe, I mean, obviously the jury didn't believe it was malicious murder or whatever, manslaughter. So, whatever. I'm done listening to this nonsense because I'm so sick of this race baiting, and I'm so glad we're getting rid of all the DEI. I'm thankful Trump got in. Hopefully, start changing people's attitudes and everything else because I'm so sick of this stuff. But let's look at, I think it's Judge Jeanine that sits down with him over this. Well, talking about this Daniel Penny, and I don't know why I don't want those. I hope y'all don't mind. I'm turning those captions off. It's behind anyway. It's not keeping up with the words. So let's listen to him talk. He gets a little emotional on this, but I can understand. His whole life could have been ruined if they would have voted the other way.
Yeah, we've got another clip from Fox Nation and Judge Jeanine's exclusive interview with Daniel Penny, the Marine vet, revealing what he would say to the jury who cleared him in the subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely.
A jury of your peers, Danny, felt unanimously, beyond a reasonable doubt, that you committed no wrongdoing. What would you say to them?
I'd like to give them a hug. I'd like to thank them. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it takes a lot of courage, especially in this climate in New York City, to stick up for me.
Yeah, Penny also answering a big question that's on the mind of a lot of people.
Will you take the subway again?
Yeah, and I have been. I believe in New York. I love New York.
Knowing what you know now, Danny, if you faced the same situation again, would you do it again?
Yeah, totally. I would not be able to live with myself if I didn't do anything in that situation. Someone got hurt. I would feel guilty for the rest of my life.
Yeah, meanwhile, the crazies on the left are ratcheting up the hate and division over this verdict. Outgoing squad member Rep. Jamal Bowman, famous for pulling a fire alarm, posted on X, "Dear white people, I don't know why I feel the need to keep talking to you. I don't know why part of me still has hope for you and for us. Some of you are too far gone, but maybe enough of you aren't and will join us in fighting to end white supremacy." And the BLM leader who vowed riots if Penny was cleared, yeah, well, she's flying it.
Sorry.
Into a rage about race. Watch this.
If Jordan Neely was a white man, we'd be saying it was an opioid crisis. He was hungry. He was mentally ill. He had a muffin.
So this is the same lady. I'm so sick of this racial nonsense. Ugh. The race baiting, like oh my gosh. Like Al Sharpton and all these other people. I'm so sick and tired of it. And of course, that idiot Jamar Bowman put in that about dear white people, the end of white supremacy. Oh boy. Ugh. I'm so sick and tired of
What
it.
about a white man during cross-examination who said that he was afraid of Daniel Penny, the one who poured water onto his head and said that he was afraid? He was a white man.
Yeah, okay, so and
What about the Latino man who was holding his
right.
arms?
I'm not the
So
one
who
identifying
was that?
everyone by race. You are.
Judge, I need to go to you first. What did you take from Daniel Penny's reflection about the courage of the jury and to do it again?
You know, it's interesting because Danny said that he wasn't a political person. He says it in the interview. He says it's not something that I normally follow. But he was savvy enough to understand, in spite of that, that it not only took courage for this jury to do what they did, because he knew that this was a political, like a pipe bomb. They were trying to make it about race, and he recognized the courage, and he said he wanted to hug them. And I got to tell you, there were camera guys in there, and there were a lot of people in there, floor people, and guys cheered up when he said that he wanted to hug them. He is as honest, as believable, and as credible as anyone I have ever met. And, he was beaten by the system, and he talked about the system. He said, the system isn't serving us the way it's supposed to be, which I thought was a lot coming from him as well. But he had and I said this yesterday, the stoicism of, someone who could be stoic with all this chaos around him, but he also had the courage of a lion, that He knew that was deadly physical force. And I just want to say one thing to these bozo idiots.
Yeah.
Number one, it's not about evil white supremacy. The truth is that Jordan Neely, an African-American, a black man, was on a list of the most needy, mentally ill, homeless people in New York City, most resistant to help, a list of 50 out of 8 million people. Where are all these do-gooders trying to help him?
The only thing they're trying to do good at is getting some money out of the city for this, or trying to sue this guy civilly. That's ridiculous. If the guy was homeless, where was the family while he was going through all of that? Getting on the subway by himself on this list. Yeah, really?
Get off that list. Where was his family trying to help him get off that list?
Nope.
And Jamal Bowman, part of the reason that you lost is because you didn't do anything for your own constituency. He could have done something. There's a homeless minority that is terrifying people in New York City. And, this guy, Jordan Neely, is jacked up on K2. It took 3 men to hold him down, a black man and a Hispanic man. It took a black and a Hispanic and an Asian to convict him. There were blacks and Hispanics on that car. Stop making this about race. If you're too stupid to understand the justification law in New York, keep your mouth shut.
Harold, I wanted to bring it to you just because Judge ended on it. Bowman's not going to be in Congress. For all accounts, what he's selling, people aren't buying. And so why he's still peddling it, I really don't know. Do you think Democrats as a whole, just the country as a whole, are moving away? Because I've said for a long time, the word racist might be the least effective word left because it's been overused and manipulated so much.
So I think a couple of things. First off, you did a great interview.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so sick and tired of this. Yeah. I mean, just because somebody disagrees with you on something or whatever, then you're called a racist. I mean, yeah, just no. It has been overblown. It's been overused. People are sick of hearing it. They don't want to be made to feel guilty about stuff, and I understand. I totally get it. I don't want to be told that I'm doing something when I have no knowledge of anything that I'm doing wrong. And somebody says, "Oh, that's racist. That's what do they call that? Microaggressions or whatever." It's like, get over it. Y'all are just drumming up stuff, probably because you're acting like an idiot out in public, and then people are kind of moving away from you, whatever, or just not talking to you or interacting with you or whatever. I mean, people don't have to deal with you if they don't want to. Just saying. I mean, you can get mad about that. I don't care. But yeah, I mean, people may avoid you. So you may say, "Oh, it's a microaggression," whatever. I haven't even seen what a microaggression is, but okay. And whatever. It's some new made up thing because people don't want to deal with others. So you say, "Oh, you're doing something to me." Anyway.
I have to tell you that publicly. It was well done. Very, very good. 2, I don't think of Jamal Bowman's comments as being serious. I met him once. I don't know him. The fact that we show it is giving him far more attention than he even deserves. To start a letter off or note up saying "Dear white people" is just nonsensical.
See, and if that's the thing, if a white person started off something with saying "Dear black people," they would disregard everything else below that, even if it's a sweet note to somebody and saying, oh, this, I really appreciate you, blah, 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 whatever. I'm just giving an example. If a white person did that, the only thing they would see is the word black. Just like when Michelle Obama at the DNC, she focused on when Donald Trump said something about black jobs at the debate. Black jobs. And then she goes, oh, yeah, those black jobs, talking about, I guess, Kamala Harris getting into the White House. I mean, that's the only word that they were focused on is the word black. But it's okay for a black person to say this to all white people as if we're all white supremacists, we're all wearing a hood, burning crosses or whatever. I mean, this is the mentality that they're at. I'm so sick and tired of this, and I think other people are, and that's why they're moving away from the DEI stuff. A lot of these companies are getting rid of it. I mean, there's no need for that. Just stop with all this stupidity. Not everybody's damn racist. Now, they may not want to have anything to do with you if you're acting stupid, but I mean, any race can be stupid in their behavior or whatever. Oh boy, I'm just so sick of it.
3, and you weren't saying this. I think it's nonsensical. 3, the jury did what I wanted them to do. They made it safe for people to act on behalf of someone who, the only person at this table doesn't have 2 of his limbs. You believe so much in this country. You gave and went out and defended us and almost gave your life doing it. You want people in our country to believe in their country and believe in their fellow humanity that way. And the jury, I think, ultimately decided that. I don't think of the jury as being racially, I don't think of them as racial units. You don't either, but these guys out here talking about this way, and I think.
Well, and I guess that's the thing too. I was just thinking about it. So in our society, they've tried to get rid of men so much, they pushed him out, pushed him out, pushed him out, pushed him out. Saying toxic masculinity and you're not right, blah, blah, blah. Part of the reason they lost the elections because the men were kind of like done with the whole thing. They were tired of being stomped on and shunned or whatever because they're males. And then now, people are starting to kind of come away from that. They're like, no, like I said, I'm not some feminist in the sense of I don't believe in what the current feminists are doing. I'll just put it that way. There may have been things that they originally started up for, like women's rights, voting rights, being able to have their own land and property rights, stuff like that. I get it. There goes through an evolution and everything changes, and then they go all the way over here to whatever la la land with all their ideas, and then it's almost like the feminist movement has moved so far that now they're trying to get rid of men altogether. So it's kind of like when you have somebody that's willing to put themselves on the line for other people on the train. I mean, I can totally appreciate that. I mean, he's protecting everybody, that's on that train car. I don't see what the problem with that is. But, whatever. Some people just get all upset like, oh, men are just violent. No, I mean, he's protecting others. That's what men are supposed to do. I think a lot of men have felt for a while that they're almost like superfluous or unnecessary, because women aren't really relying on them anymore. You see all the crazy stuff going on social media, girls shaving their heads because they don't want to ever have sex again or whatever, this sex strike and all this other stuff. I mean, just like you can see the move away from all this shunning men. I mean, at least on the conservative side, we need men. We want men. We want our boys and men to be protectors and providers. We don't want them to feel unnecessary and unneeded. We want them to, eventually become fathers husbands. There's nothing wrong with those things. That's actually the natural way, and the natural process has been going on for thousands of years. But the last 3 or 4 years, people have moved way far away from that. And of course, with this election, they've really lost it. The women don't think they want to ever have children, so they're sterilizing themselves and doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, we're going way far to the left, or like I said, la la land. I mean, it's nuts when you look at all of it, you know, it's just so far gone. But anyway, yeah, I, for one, would want somebody, if I'm unable to protect myself, I would want somebody to step in and do something, especially if it's a man. I mean, like I said, I'm only 5'1". You got, a man that's maybe out of his mind on drugs. I mean, we don't know what the situation was. I don't know. I didn't watch all of this stuff, but if there's a man on the train that could help out, I sure would hope he would step in there and do something. But anyway, that's just my idea.
Dan Abrams is going to follow. If we played the rest of the clip, that's what he was trying to say to the BLM leader. She has every right to believe that. I don't think we're advancing any cause, public safety, humanity, anti-racism when you talk like that. I was on the subway today. I've been on the subway 3 times a day. And in our last segment, I saw a picture in the subway on the F line, not far from here, of a friend of mine who had said wanted. And I looked at it, said profiteer, and it listed what he does for a living and said, if you see him, you know what to do. Wow. Now I'm thinking, what have we come to where, to your point, all of our points, and we all agree that violence is accepted this way. Now, this is the Daniel Penny segment. I know. I am so happy for him. I hope he gets his architecture degree. I think he's going for architecture degree, and I hope he gets a great job. And I love his spirit. And I love the way he doesn't seem to be at all defensive or angry. No, even though I didn't see the part about what he said about the system, but he has been vindicated, and I wish him nothing but the best and nothing but blessings going forward.
But he has a civil lawsuit now.
I wish him blessings in that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just stupidity. The family wasn't there for the guy, and now they want to be there so they can get some money out of the deal. And I mean, I'm sure this guy is not rich in any way, so it's going to be like trying to get blood out of a turnip. So I guess the city's going to be on the hook for it if he's not able to do it, and then you just pay restitution or something. I mean, if it even goes through, because even like O.J. Simpson, he was acquitted of the murders of Ron Goldman and then Nicole Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson, but the family, I think his name is Dan Brown. Anyway, the dad of Nicole, his wife, sued him civilly, and I think he had to pay all that money. So it's kind of one of those things. This family apparently wasn't there for the guy in life, this Jordan Neely guy, and now they want to be there to profit from his death. But anyway, take whatever you want out of it. I don't care at this point. I mean, I'm just so sick of all this racial junk and the race baiting and everything else. But yeah, y'all have a good rest of your day. I don't know if I'm going to get to that other, the 22-page report. I mean, I'm probably going to have to split it up into a couple of different segments because it's so long. And it's a lot of reading. But anyway, we'll go through it, I think, line by line. That way y'all can see it, and then I'll post a link for it. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.